Hi everyone, my name is Ben Wright Human, cartoonist extraordinaire, and welcome to the next part of the live draw for CosPain strip 110, Acceptance. Now, in today's strip, if any of you managed to catch the previous recordings, we are introducing a new character, and I did the design kind of on the fly in the last drawing, and now we are going to be figuring out the next step of what he looks like, what his color scheme is going to be. Before that, though, I'm going to color the other character because we know what he looks like. Now, I might be a little stiff today, and the reason is because I did something that is awesome, and I haven't done in about 5 years, I realize, and that is I donated blood. So I got that annoying bandage on my arm that slows everything down. And I told him not to take my drawn arm, but I had like a zit or something on my right arm. And so they were like, nope, we can't do it there. It occurred to me afterwards, they might have thought it was a track mark or something. And it was like, nope, probably just a zit. But yeah, I used to give blood all the time. Starting in high school, actually. When I first became eligible, I was like, this is really cool. I like that I'm able to do this. And it's just something that I used to do whenever my school had a blood drive, and they do it regularly. I'd donate blood. Then I went to college, and the same thing happened because they'd regularly organize blood drives. They'd be well advertised, things like that. And then when I was working in the world, I worked at UPS Freight for a long time. And while I was there, they'd also have blood drives, and it was very easy to keep up that way. And with all these places, one of the things that they were good about is they'd come back when people were able to donate again. Like they'd actually pay attention to that. Man, I made his head boxy in this panel. But it's something that I always have pride in doing because I might not be able to do a lot, but I can donate blood. And in many ways, I'm kind of an ideal candidate. That's such a braggy thing. I have the best blood. No, I'm O positive, so I have a very common blood type. I'm on the heavier side, have high iron count, tend to be on the high side for pulse, but not outside of the range. So in a lot of ways, I can donate fast. I can do double red cell, which means they end up taking twice the blood from me. And it just all around, they want my blood. They want it all the time. One of the funny things is my mom complains that they call her all the time in Virginia. So nowhere, anywhere near where I am now. And she's told him repeatedly, he moved. He moved a long time ago. Stop calling me. And they don't stop calling her. But I had a little carabiner in there. Do I want to put that back in? Yeah, I'll make it look like there's a keychain. That's doable. There we go. But yeah, it's been a very long time since I've done it because I left UPS back in 2014, right before I went to the Center for Cartoon Studies. And since then, I really haven't donated. I don't think I've donated at all in that time. So it was funny because I was like, oh, this is cool. This is my first time doing it in 5 years. And it wasn't a planned thing either. I was going to the grocery store. They were right outside my local Giant Eagle. And I was like, all right, I got nothing to do today. Let's do this. All I got to do is stream for a ton of people later. And if I just randomly pass out on the stream, you know, that'll probably get me hits, right? Would that work, guys? Hold on, let me try it. Did that work? Yeah, I didn't think so. Anyway, the but yeah, it was really cool to get to donate again, and not much has changed with the process. It seems like they're not using iodine anymore. That's what made me feel old. It's like, are you allergic to these alcohol swabs? I'm like, I don't know. You always used iodine before, so turns out I have not, thankfully. The one thing that really disappointed me um, was that they still have the rule where if you're a man and you've had sex with another man in the last year, you cannot donate. And I get where that rule comes from, but it needs to go away. Um, it, it 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 came out of a time when sexually transmitted. Well, okay, let's talk about the one that it is specifically referenced to. Uh, it's associated with AIDS, and AIDS is still a devastating disease to get. It is still an awful, awful condition to get. And it is, from what I understand, it is still statistically higher in the gay community. But we're so much better at dealing with it now than when these rules were first put in place. But the stigmas behind it are still there, and that bugs me. I was really surprised when I saw that question. It has been backed off from never to a year. I was actually talking with the phlebotomist about it, and none of them seemed cool with it either. They said it's just something they're kind of stuck with. But one other thing they did mention that I thought was interesting was I assumed this was a Red Cross specific policy, and it's not. This policy goes all the way up to the FDA, which may explain why it hasn't been changed because, you know, it's a government organization. It takes forever for anything to change. How's this for this guy's skin tone? Obviously, I'm going to redo that, but I just wanted to get a look. I kind of like that. I think it might be close to another character's. Let me see if I can find one of that guy so I can compare. I think it's close to the hard seller that I have in a bunch of my comics. Uh, so it should be 104. I don't know them all by number. Uh, is that bad of me or okay because this is number 110? So I've drawn a lot of them. All right. How close is this? Oh, oh, I did that in the shading layer. That's why. Oh, it's not close. Interesting. Is it close to anybody's? Go ahead and close that. Let's see. I have this one, which has a bunch of the main characters. I'm in the shading layer again. You'd think I'd learn. That guy who's barely in it. Awesome. Well, that was easy. And I did not mean to close that. I'm going to need that for reference later. I'm smart. Why are you not? Thank you. It wasn't clicking. I don't know why. Let me click. For those of you who don't know, the strip that I just reopened, I use for a lot of color picking because I know all the colors in it are safe. And it's got a lot of colors. And it's got a lot of the main characters in it. So it's very good for that. Yeah, I was a little paranoid that giving blood wouldn't be as easy as it used to be because I'm getting older and you never know because sometimes I just realized something I want to quickly check. Yep, I totally forgot that. I was giving him sweatbands and I kept forgetting to actually commit and draw the sweatbands. So it's on your coloring layer now. You're welcome. Continuity. He's got it there. Cool. But yeah, I was a little worried because double red cell is very draining. Um, it is one of those things that, if you're not careful, can mess you up a little bit. Not too badly. It's not debilitating, but they're taking out twice the blood and pumping, and then actually has a centrifuge built into it that will take out. It'll separate the red blood cells from the plasma and all that, and then they add some saline, which is not body temperature, and pump it back into you. And the end result, honestly, I usually feel better after I've done it than if I'd just done the normal thing where they fill a bag with your blood and then leave. And they only take half the blood. Because I got a lot of the fluids back, and that really helps. I'm not allowed to donate for twice the time, but I guess that helps with the fact that I don't donate very often. So it all balances out. I'm glad I managed to find a skin tone for this guy pretty quick. I was kind of thinking that I wanted him to be have a Mediterranean complexion or be Latin American, like one of the two. But I'm leaning just I think partly because of the ponytail. I'm kind of thinking of an Italian character from a fighting game, Robert from SNK. So maybe that will be the direction I go in. Go. Uh-oh. Easily fixed. And yeah, if you've never given blood and you think you can, like I understand there are people who have issues with needles and or can't stand the idea of being bled, and that's completely fine. That's completely like if that's your case, that's your case. But if you're able to give blood, I'd say it's worth doing. All it really costs you is your time and a little bit of your energy. It doesn't hurt badly. It's not excruciating. I will say this was one of the more painful times I've had it, and it wasn't even that bad. Like for some reason, it stung during the process. Like usually, there's the initial sting, and then that's it. And for some reason, I had a little bit more of a continuous hurt, but it wasn't particularly bad. It was just that was there. What color should his hair be?